Hey, it's Cameron from Cameron Makes Rockets. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the types of videos I normally post on the channel. Today we're going to be going over what I bring to the launch site for rocket launch day. Now, I use the Hart stacking toolbox system, similar to Milwaukee's Packet system or Pack Out, whatever the name is. There are several different tool companies that make similar products of stacking with, you can't see it, but maybe in the screen capture, there are wheels so you can cart it around of these stacking toolbox systems. I really enjoy this one. One of my favorite features is this drawer module, which we'll go into a little bit more in depth later. You can see on the top I have a clear kind of organizer that has different compartments for different things, and then two big just standard toolboxes of sorts. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is in each one of these. All right, before we get started into taking a look at these items here at the top, I do want to say I do have a 1/8 inch and a 3/16 inch launch rail, or rather launch rod. They don't fold into a nice small package to fit in these boxes, but I do bring those along with me. Now, taking a look here at the top, I'll go ahead and unclip this. You can kind of see some obvious ones, like some extra wire for flight computers, wire for my launch control box, some extra parachutes. Now, this 36-inch parachute and these two 24-inch parachutes are for rockets. I just don't keep them in a rocket. I like to keep them separate. I know that they'll be dry and kept safe. Extra parachute here. I do have some extra parachutes coming, but they're not here yet. Some recovery wadding. Got here some extra batteries, as well as these adapters for E to D motors that come in the 24mm rocket kits. Got the universal delay drilling tool for Aerotech DMS motors. And here I have a bit of trash, sorry. Some extra rail buttons. Got a little bit of black powder, and I like to keep the extra black powder vials, so when I get into electronic deployments, I have a container ready to go to store that in. Pen and Sharpie for marking center of gravity and center of pressure on rockets, and pen to fill out forms as needed. And then this last container, you might be wondering why I stuffed a towel in there. If we unravel it, we'll see we have my RunCam 4K, as well as what I affectionately call it the Pad Cam. It's just a Garmin Verb that I pulled out of Facebook Marketplace for a reasonable price, and I like to keep them wrapped up in this nice microfiber cloth, keep the lenses from getting scratched, and a little extra padding for riding around in here. So that is the top of the launch box. Now, to move on to the rest of the launch box, what's nice about this is it has a couple pull tabs, which you can kind of see here at the bottom of your screen. Pull those out, and then this just lifts right off. And don't know if you can tell, but this is a little hole where on the bottom, the toolboxes, there's these alignment tabs, you could say, and they just go into these holes and help align everything together. So I'll go ahead and set this aside. Now, this is the two drawers, so I'm going to scoot you back a little bit so we can see into the drawers. What I like about the drawers is it has the ability to be locked. Not like Fort Knox level security, but you could throw on a small padlock and keep people from getting into it. And the reason I say that is we're going to start at the bottom. I like to keep my rocket engines in here. The reason why I want to lock these up is so if there are any kids around at the range, they don't come in here and play with these. Keep my igniters and the little plugs that go in. Ideally, this is not organized, but rather than dedicating one of these slots for each color of plug, just throw it in with the igniters. It hasn't been too much of a hassle yet. But yes, we have a variety of motors, no high power motors. The way that this is organized, I would have to remove these this way because this crossbar and this crossbar are one piece. So to fit a high power motor this way, it would mean losing a lot of space. And then high power motors, some would fit in here that way, but it's not worth it yet. And I keep them in another location of the box. So I'll just go ahead and put these back. Oops. So that's the bottom of the drawer, or the bottom drawer. Go to the top. Here we have a variety of different things, starting with some extra tape, electrical tapes. We got a tool kit for the battery powered Dremel, which I keep here. This is handy to bring in case you need to sand something down really quickly or cut something out. Got that tool kit for those, some drill bits and emergency screw removers. Not necessarily an emergency, but handy to have just in case. Got cable for programming launch computers, or rather flight data recorders, because none of my computers do launches. I also will include camera charging cables as well as phone charging cables. Got a variety of different super glues, thin, medium, and thick, as well as some 5-minute epoxy with stir stick and a mixing tray. Put that back. Then we have a variety of tools, keys for the launch controlling box, some pliers, nippers, extra pliers, lots of these knives. You can never have too many little razor blades, screwdriver, nice little light, and these, I think they're called like pin files or something. I got these at Harbor Freight. They're just cheap little files to help sand something if something isn't fitting right at the last minute. Occasionally I'll have more pliers and screwdrivers. Just kind of want to be prepared for that. So we'll go ahead and close this up and we'll move on to the bottom two drawers. Now I do want to emphasize that I have these drawers within the clear top organizer on the top as well, because the contents of the bottom two boxes are meant to come out once I get at the launch site, and then I'll close those up, put the drawers and the clear organizer on top, and that will act as like a toolbox, and it's at the right height for convenience and ease of use, and everything that I need for prepping a launch is in the top two organizing compartments, and then the bottom two are things like drills, and well, why spoil it when you can get to see? So again, I'll pop open these tabs and lift this out. And I'll set it aside. Get you guys a little closer here. Hope you're not too motion sickness. Drop it down just a smidge. All right. I think that's good for now. So I'll go ahead and pop open these tabs. Okay. Here we have some extra tools, screwdrivers, tapes, scissors, extra stir sticks, razor blades, extra Sharpie. These straws I like to keep as emergency launch lugs. These are used mainly in a pinch. I had this bullet casing I was playing around with at the launch site one day, and I just kind of tossed it in there. This little drawer comes out, so this comes out when I get to launch site and sits on the table. Here's where I store, as you can see, my high power motors. This one's empty, just an example, but these guys, I store these in there. These don't come out when I get there. I want to keep them kind of out of the way, because if someone gets in here and removes this little goodie bag, kind of out of luck for launching that motor. So these will stay in there, and if I need them, I'll destack everything and pull those out. Now I have these towels, microfiber towels. These are real nice because they sit on top of these rocket cradles that are printed. These are a design from BPS Space. I posted them on Thingiverse. I just like to drape a towel over there, and it keeps the rocket from getting scratched from these edges. A more permanent solution would be to glue a piece of felt or something on there. But these little microfiber towels do great at keeping those nice paint from getting scratched on the rocket. So I'll just remove all of those real quick. Okay. Now we get into some of the fun items. This is a launch stand tripod that I made earlier. This is cool because it takes a drill chuck and that just threads on, and then you can put a launch rod on there, and that clamps down as well. Nice and convenient. We got the pad cam tripod. Also, what would be in here is the tripod that you are sitting on. This is the wide angle pad cam shot. Put some external batteries for charging cameras and phones and all the good recording things. Extra mixing bowls. Adapters for different tripods. The Verb Action Cam mount. Then we have the classic Estes launch pad, and that has everything in here, including the controller. Then I have this weight with a piece of paracord tied onto it to keep tripods from tipping over. It's been pretty handy so far. So that is this compartment. Just close this up for a second. Pull again these tabs. And lift it away. It's just that easy. Now, this bottom one, don't be shocked when you see what's inside. The first thing you see. No, we are not cooking. So this pizza pan has been adopted into a deflector shield for that tripod launch system I showed earlier. Just drilled a small hole in the middle, and it's been through one launch so far this year, so it's been good so far. Got our drill. Fire extinguisher, very important. Keep this near your launch pad. Clamp, some squares and level and hammer and a saw. The launch igniter cables as well as the battery connector, and then the launch box. That'll be a separate video. Alright, so that is in what I call the launch box. Now that gets confusing because I have another thing in there called a launch box. But not everything in here is required for you to take to the range. There are some essentials like extra parachutes, recovery wadding, engines, igniters, the launch pad and system if you have one. If you're launching with a club, other guys will have the launch pads and launch systems. You just need to bring your own engines and of course rockets. And most people are friendly to where you can borrow things. I've borrowed a couple things from time to time, a couple tools, but us rocket guys are pretty friendly, so just reach out if you need to borrow anything. Not to me, because I probably don't live in your area, but reach out to your local club and see what they have, see what you can borrow, and that will help you have a good launch day. So if you have any questions about what you want to bring, or if you have any suggestions of things I should add, please let me know, and I'll catch you guys next time.